Hello, everyone, and welcome to the episode of Talking Trash with Trash Panda. I am your host, Trash Panda. Welcome back to the dumpster, and today we are going to discuss who I think is going to win each division in the NFL. And we're ultimately going to start with my division, the AFC North. AFC North is interesting this year. There's a lot of things going into this decision by me. So you look at this, it's the Cleveland Browns, the Cincinnati Bengals, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Baltimore Ravens. I think when it's all said and done, when the season is over, it is going to be the Cincinnati Bengals who win the AFC North. I think it's going to be followed by Pittsburgh, followed by the Ravens, and last but not least, the Cleveland Browns. Why do I think this? Well, Cincinnati in the offseason went out and fixed their defense. The only questions that they were having last year is they went out. The defensive line was a big problem. So they went out and got guys like Boye Mafe, Dexter Lawrence, Jonathan Allen, and Brian Cook, the standout safety from Kansas City. The offense is the same. They haven't lost anyone on offense other than Noah Fant. But they get Eric All Jr. back, which is one of Burrow's favorite targets. And along with that, it's a good sign of things to come for Cincinnati. And I think with a defense, they're going to run this division. Why I say Pittsburgh's going to be second. Pittsburgh, unironically, put together some pieces in the offseason, and we'll see how it all works out. It's going to be first-year head coach Mike McCarthy for the Steelers, but with some sort of chemistry with Rodgers. Who knows? They might be making the Bengals have a run for their money. The Ravens, they added Trey Hendrickson in the offseason, a man who's on the wrong half of 30. And just coming off of major surgery, that is why they are third place. And they lost John Harbaugh. It's a new first-year head coach. And with that offense, I'm not sure how it's going to work out. The Cleveland Browns are fourth because they're the Cleveland Browns. The only thing they've been pretty much good at is defense. And their defense got better over the offseason, but they lost their defense coordinator. So they're probably still going to be last in the AFC North. Next up, we have the AFC South. We have the Texans, the Colts, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Titans. I'm going to get a little bit of flack for this one, I feel like. I believe the Jacksonville Jaguars will win this division handedly. However, number 2 will be the Tennessee Titans, followed by the Texans and then the Colts. The Jacksonville Jaguars added pieces this offseason to shore up their defense, and they got a guy, defensive end, that can eat up some quarterbacks, as my friend Obbs loves to say. They also emboldened their offense this year, but losing Travis Etienne, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But Liam Cohen has given the Jaguars a second life, if you will. So that's why I think they're going to win the AFC South. Followed by the Titans. I think the Titans under Robert Saleh are going to be a great team this year. They're going to surprise a lot of people. That defense has gotten stronger, and Cam Ward's only going to get better with more reps. They got a weapon in the draft in Carnell Tate from Ohio State. And I think that is going to play a factor into why this team is ultimately going to be second in the AFC South. The Texans are third. CJ Stroud's going to have another bad year, I have a feeling, and it's going to lead to them struggling. And with injuries mounting for the team, along with Joe Mixon not returning, I don't see the Houston Texans doing much this year. That's why I see them as the third. And the fourth, the Colts. I don't know what the Colts are doing. There's a huge question mark around the quarterback position, and again, they're focusing on Jonathan Taylor, but they didn't really add anyone that it gives me hope that they're going to be first in their division. So we'll see how that plays out. Next up is the AFC East. You have the Buffalo Bills, the Miami Dolphins, New England Patriots, and the New York Jets. I think Buffalo wins this division without a doubt. They might even go undefeated in this division. Followed by the Jets, then New England and Miami. So the reason why the Buffalo Bills will win this division is, one, they got their coach. Two, the only question mark are the receiving core on Buffalo, but the defense has gotten better in the offseason. And I think that Buffalo is going to right some wrongs this year. Why not New England? With the whole, and I'll get to that in just a minute. The Jets, I think under Aaron Glenn, the second year, he's going to be able to finally put some pieces together this year. They just re-signed Breece Hall. They got a quarterback who they think can work, but I don't think he's the full solution. They'll still be bad, but most of this division will be bad, and that's why they're second. Coming up just behind them is the New England Patriots, which I hate to say it because I liked what they were doing with Mike Vrabel. I liked the team they were building, but let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, they lost Stephon Diggs. They don't really have a receiving core anymore because they lost Stephon Diggs. Their defense might take a step back this year, and who knows if Mike Vrabel is going to coach the team with the whole thing with Diana Rossini. And some people are saying that it's going to lead to that Mike Vrabel's losing his job in New England. Miami, it's the first-year head coach. I don't expect a lot out of Miami this year. The most Miami fans I know are saying this is a rebuild year, so that's why I said they're going to be fourth this year. But I think the Bills run away with this division for sure. Next up, we have the AFC West. Probably going to get flack for this one too. The winners of the AFC West this year, the Denver Broncos, followed by the Los Angeles Chargers, followed by the Las Vegas Raiders, followed by the Chiefs. Now, I know people are going to say, the Chiefs at fourth place? What are you doing? I'll get to that in a minute. Denver Broncos were one play away from the Super Bowl last year. Nothing's changed. If anything, they've gotten better in the offseason. Under Sean Payton, this team might put something together this year, and they could make a run. I do think they win the AFC West. I think it's a close race with the second team, the Los Angeles Chargers. And why the Chargers are second and not Kansas City is simply because as time goes on, this Chargers team is going to get better. And they just added Mike McDaniels, who is a huge offensive asset, a great offensive mind. And with Justin Herbert, I think this team is finally going to take that step forward and maybe make the playoffs this year. Followed by the Raiders. Why do I think the Raiders are going to outbeat the Chiefs this year? One reason. The coach. I think that coach, the defensive coach for the Raiders, is going to embolden that defense. It's going to improve that defense. And I think Kirk and that offense is going to play spoiler this year, which is why I said the Chiefs the fourth, because I think those big games for the Chiefs will lose. Now, I could be completely wrong and the Chiefs win the division, but let me talk about the Chiefs for a minute. The Chiefs lost their starting safety. They drafted one, but he could be a bust. They drafted receivers, both of them from Cincinnati, Cyrus Allen, and can't think of his name right now. So he's got some more talent, but the question I have is Mahomes' health. That is why they're fourth for me, because there's a big question mark around Mahomes. He's getting older, and after that injury last year, I have a lot of questions about Mahomes. If he's healthy, they win the division. But I don't think he's healthy. I think that type of play, the way he plays, is going to catch up to him. So, quick rundown of the AFC North and a quick rundown of the AFC and who I think is going to win their divisions. The Bengals win the North. The Jaguars win the South. The Bills win the East. And the Broncos win the West. Next up, it's the NFC. We're going to start with the NFC North. This year, the winners of the NFC North, in my eyes, will be the Minnesota Vikings, followed by the Detroit Lions, the Chicago Bears, and the Green Bay Packers. Minnesota is going to win the division in the North because they finally have a quarterback. Under Kevin O'Connell, J.J. McCarthy struggled, but it wasn't Kevin O'Connell's fault. J.J. McCarthy struggled in college. He wasn't a great pick in college, but now they have Kyler Murray. And Kyler Murray can develop underneath Kevin O'Connell and with weapons like Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. I think this team's going to take that step. They did lose some defensive pieces, but I do believe Minnesota will win the North. It's going to be a tight race because I think Detroit takes that step this year. I think Detroit finally fights their way back. I think they figure it out. They finally settle in after losing Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson. I think they will be the second team in this division. And with their schedule, that's how I feel about it. The Chicago Bears will be close behind Detroit. This division this year is going to be tight, but I think it's going to fall this way. So let's talk about why. Ben Johnson is his second year. We talk about the Bears last year. The Bears had a great run last year. And I think Caleb Williams under Ben Johnson will settle in, and this team's going to be better. It's going to be a better team. So I think the Bears will be third based on their schedule, and I think their team improved over the offseason. Why do I think the Green Bay Packers will be fourth? A team that looked dominant last year at times flounders in the playoffs. The Packers lost a lot of their wide receiver room in the offseason. Jordan Love showcased that he's a great quarterback at times, but can flounder when they need him most. And a lot of that is playing into my decision to put them at number 4. Their schedule is not easy. And who knows, maybe with Jordan Love's play last year, his numbers were MVP almost like numbers, but in the big moments he struggled. And that is why I think the Packers will be fourth. Because there's going to be a lot of games this year that are very important to the Packers, and they're gonna fall. I think they're getting too much hype, and I think it's going to get to their head. Next up, we have the NFC South. This is a terrible division. This is literally anyone's division. However, I do have to make a decision. I think, by circumstance, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win this division this year. I think the Panthers miss it by just a game, but I think the Buccaneers are going to be better than they were last year with the additions of Ruben Bain on defense and a bunch of other players that they added in the draft. Yes, they lost Mike Evans. However, their receiving core is so fucking deep with Emeka Egbuka, Chris Godwin, and a bunch of other younger guys that I think can step up next year for Baker Mayfield and company. But that defense is going to be a lot better. Yes, they lost Jamel Dean, but they got a guy at corner that can also take that place. The Panthers are going to be one game away. The Panthers were great last year. They proved a lot of people wrong. They were the surprise of last year. But I think they'll be second, followed by New Orleans, and then fourth, the Falcons. We'll get into that in a minute. But the Panthers, like I said, they were in the playoffs last year. By crook or by hook, it doesn't matter. They fought their way in. They gave the Rams a hell of a fight, and I think that's going to continue. They just added a great receiver in Chris Brazzell, which fits Bryce Young's that big-bodied receiver that they need, along with the guys that they already have. This team's going to be great next year. I think they're going to be second. Third, I think the Saints are going to be third. Why do I say the Saints? 1, strength of schedule. 2, I think that quarterback, Shuck, I think he's going to take that next step this year. And with the addition of Jordan Tyson and Chris Olave already being there, I think this team is going to be better. The big question mark is Alvin Kamara coming back. We don't know. But I think that team under this new offense with Kellen Moore, I think they're going to be better than they were last year. The Falcons. Raheem Morris is a fucking joke. That's it. That man can't coach a team. Michael Penix Jr. is struggling with Drake London, Kyle Pitts. I mean, this team, yes, they got they got more defense, so their defense might be good, but they just don't have the offense. I mean, yes, Bijan is great, but Raheem Morris isn't an offensive-minded coach, and you can see it. That's why their defense is great, but their offense was struggling last year. And can Michael Penix stay healthy? That is the big question. Next up, the NFC East, another meh division, but I'm probably going to piss a lot of people off by saying this. The winners of the NFC East, the New York Giants. Now, why? Probably like, you're crazy. The Giants had a great draft. The Giants last year, in my opinion, were riddled with injuries, and that squandered their season. Jackson Dart, Cam Scatabo, Malik Neighbors. All three of them went down. They'll be healthy this year. If they stay healthy, the Giants will win those games that were tight last year, and they'll flip that record, and they'll be first in the division. I think this team got better on defense. It's going to be interesting to see how they play this year, but the additions from the draft are going to propel this team into the first place of the NFC East. Followed by the Philadelphia Eagles, followed by the Washington Commanders, followed by Dallas. The Eagles might take a step back this year. They're probably going to lose A.J. Brown. And if they do, they'll take that step back for sure. They did draft a receiver, but will he be good enough to be just like A.J. Brown? That's how I feel about it. And they lost their safety. Can't think of his last name. He's one of the Amazing Whites with Cooper DeJean. The Commanders are in an interesting place. Their defense is going to be star-studded. They already got Sonny Styles, and Jaden Daniels is coming back with a vengeance this year. But the receiving core is a question. He's got Scary Terry, and that's about it. Maybe if they go out, get Stephon Diggs and Brandon Ayuk, I could see them competing for first place. But right now, they're sitting at third for me. For fourth, the Dallas Cowboys. I don't need to say anything. They didn't do anything to impress me. So that's why they're fourth. The NFC West was probably the most difficult one, but I think I got it. Rams, Niners, Seahawks, Cardinals. In that order. Let's talk about the Los Angeles Rams. Los Angeles Rams last year were one play away from the Super Bowl. Now, they didn't really add anyone in the offseason, but that call goes a different way. They're in the Super Bowl. Matt Stafford, been playing great. I think that continues this season. Seattle, I think they're going to take a step back losing Kenneth Walker. We'll see how Sam Darnold fares in his second year as a Seattle Seahawk. Maybe he takes a step back. Jackson Smith and Jigba's still there, so that's the explosive offense that we're expecting. But without Kenneth Walker and just Charbonnet, I'm curious to see how that offense develops. That defense is still the same. It's still the same dominant defense, so we'll see how it goes. The Niners. The only thing hindering the Niners are injuries, and typically every single year around the playoffs, the Niners get hurt. If the Niners can stay healthy this season, I can see them taking this division, but I don't see them staying healthy. I don't see that in their future, so that's why they are third. And fourth, probably going to have a better season than last year, but still a bad season, is the Arizona Cardinals. They drafted Jeremiah Love this year, which is going to propel their offense forward, but they lost Kyler Murray. Can they, under Jacoby Brissett and Gardner Minshew, find some magic in Marvin Harrison Jr.? We'll find out, but I'm interested to see how Jeremiah Love does. So let's do a quick rundown of the NFC, and then we'll do my overall review of it. The NFC North, the Vikings will win. Then, in the South, the Buccaneers. In the East, the Giants. In the West, the Rams. Overall, the AFC... Bengals, Jacksonville, Buffalo, Denver. NFC, Minnesota, Tampa Bay, New York, and Los Angeles. Now, my Super Bowl prediction. I've already mentioned it, but the Bengals and the Rams. I'm not saying the Bengals will be a first seed by any stretch of the imaginations, but I do think they will go a decent length. And in that division that's weaker now, I could see them making it. The Rams were one play away from the Super Bowl. It's in SoFi. There's going to be a rematch. That's my prediction. I touched on it a bit, but let's talk about, before I close everything out here, my surprises for the AFC and NFC. In the AFC, the Raiders are going to be better than people are giving them credit for. My second surprise is the Titans will be better than people are giving them credit for. With the addition of Carnell Tate, I think Cam Ward's going to develop really well underneath Robert Saleh in that defense, which will shore up so the offense can score for Cam Ward. My bad surprise of this year, Kansas City is not going to be good. It's a prediction. I don't think Mahomes' health is good. I think he's going to struggle this year. I could be wrong, and that's fine. I could be an idiot. That's fine. And the second bad surprise this year is the Texans. The Texans are going to be awful this year. They're just going to take another step back. That's what I think. In the NFC, the good surprises, the Saints will be better than people think they will be. I think the Saints will be a better team with Jordan Tyson and Tyler Shaw. I think that's his name, Shu or something like that. And Chris Olave, I think that offense is going to be better. It's going to propel them to some wins. The Giants, that's going to be a surprise for some people. I think the Giants win the NFC East because I think they're a great football team. It's just injuries riddled them. And if they can stay healthy, they'll win that division handedly, as every other team is taking a step back. How about the bad surprises in the NFC? The Packers. I think the Packers are going to suck this year. I think Matt LaFleur has shown over the years that he cannot, in the big moments, coach this team, and Jordan Love cannot hang in these moments. I do believe that they'll be competitive, but I don't think they're going to be playoff bound this year. I think they'll miss the playoffs for the first time in a long time. It's going to be a rough year if you're a Packers fan, I think, because the North got better and they somewhat improved, but they lost a receiver. So we'll see. They lost their receivers. And the second and last bad surprise of the NFC is the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks are going to take a step back this year, not miss the playoffs, but they could if the Niners play well enough and Seattle is just on the edge. I think we could see the Niners be 2 and Seattle be 3 and then miss the playoffs. Losing the Super Bowl MVP and Kenneth Walker is going to be a bigger impact than people realize. And I think that's going to lead to that. And I think it's just going to surprise a lot of people. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down below. Let me know if you like this type of content. I'm probably going to keep going forward doing this with the Bengals when the season begins and maybe some college football stuff as well. But yeah, let me know if you agree with my takes, disagree. Leave it down a comment below. And if you find yourself coming back to the channel, please subscribe. You're coming back anyway, so it doesn't hurt anything. And if anything, it helps me grow the channel. Like I said, if you guys enjoy this, let me know in the comments below. And let me hear your feedback. Let me know your thoughts about the NFL season coming up and who you think is going to win the Super Bowl, who you think is going to go to the Super Bowl. And more importantly, who do you think is going to win each division? And yeah, I hope you all enjoyed. And have a great rest of your weekend. I will see you all on Tuesday.